Right, so for some bizarre reason, people like to make things difficult and complicated, so if you want to learn how to play R&B and neo-soul guitar, you need to know 1000 chords and chord shapes on the guitar. When it's not like that, well, I'm not here to say everything is simple, you just need triads, you just need major and minor chords. This is still a style that is heavily influenced by jazz vocabulary, so that means first of all, you need to know 7th chord. But if you don't know where to start from, if you want to have something organized where you can learn all of these chords step by step, taking your time and making progress, I got you. So when we say 7th chords, what do we need and where do we start from? Okay, so obviously a triad is made by 1, 3 and 5, and the 7th chord is made by 1, 3, 5, 7, so you add an extra note. Now because you have several triads and you can have a major 7th, a minor 7 and even a diminished 7th degree, the combinations between triads and 7ths to get different 7 chord shapes are quite a few. But if you understand the concept of chord families, it's not that difficult. Basically, you need to know major 7th chords, which you may have played, for example, with a shape like this, or with a shape like this. I'm just showing you a C major 7 with the root on the A and then with the root on the E string. You then need to know minor 7 chord. So to stay with the same example, so key of C, you've got C minor 7 here, which again you may have played. And for the one with the root on the E string, you may have played this one or maybe this. Okay. Obviously you need to know dominant 7 chords. Now here, several positions. Maybe you play the C7 like this, which you can move around wherever you like because it doesn't contain any open strings if you move the 1st and the 6th. Or you can play a C7 this way with a bar, you know, when the root is on the E string. Okay. Then you will need to know the diminished 7th chords, okay? And for those, I would suggest you to learn 3 positions really. One with the root on the A string, which looks like this. So 2, 3, 1, 4 is the fingering and the root is here. Then you may need to know the one with the root on the E string. So this, you will need a little bar here with the 1st finger and then 2nd finger and 3rd. And you get this. And I would say maybe one with the root on the D string this time. Okay, so this one. Okay, 1, 3, 2, 4 is the fingering. If you start from fret 10 of the D string where the note C is, you find 10, 11, 10, 11 essentially. Now why 3 positions for diminished 7 chords? I talked about it recently in another video, but essentially it's because you can move these chords. They are symmetrical, so you can move them by 3 half steps up or down and you're still playing the same chord. They contain the same notes, you're just playing them with a different order. So if you learn this, you can then move it here, and yet you're still playing the same chord, and same here. There's a move that you see very often in neo-soul guitar. And bonus, you may need to know minor 7 flat 5, which we also call half diminished, but please don't confuse them with the diminished 7 chords because you can't move them symmetrically by 3 half steps as you do with diminished 7 chords. And I would just tell you to learn this position essentially with the root on the A string. Only if you want, you can learn this one as well with the root on the E string. Now I know that I quickly went over a bunch of different chord positions, and I also know that if you are passionate about this style and you've played some of these songs, maybe you've learned also major 9, minor 9, dominant 13 chord, things like, you know, minor 11, you know, all that kind of moves. Yes, that's all true, but the base of everything is knowing 7th chords. When you go to the 9th, you're just adding a note on top of a 7th chord. If you're playing a minor 11, you're adding the 11th to a minor 7 chord, and so on and so forth. But if you want to learn them all organized with examples and chord diagrams, I've got a free cheat code linked in the description below. And if you do sign up, I will send you regular tips for free to your inbox to learn R&B and neo-soul guitar, and we can stay in touch. You can reply directly to me and ask any questions. So to recap, I suggest you to learn major 7 chords, at least one with the root on the A and one with the root on the E string. Minor 7 chords, again root on the A and root on the E. Dominant 7 chords, diminished 7 chords, this time 3 positions, one with the root on the A, one with the root on the E, and one with the root on the D string, and minor 7 flat 5 or half diminished. Then, only then, you can think of introduce 9th, 11th and 13th. But if you guys want to learn everything about this style and see real examples, chord progressions of all levels explained in detail with music theory and everything else, and you would like to learn them with me, you will find my R&B and Neo Soul courses linked in the description below as well. Hope this lesson was helpful. Did I miss, guys, any chord that you consider fundamental to play this style?